So I put out a video earlier about this Triad multi-fuel burner, this camp stove, titanium construction. And I said it would be hackneyed to do any kind of review on further spirit burners, multi-fuel stoves, or camp stoves. And here I am doing that exact thing. Long and short of it, I know most of the capabilities of these things, but I kind of just want to see where they're at because summer's coming up and I'm going to be going on some camping adventures or, some overnights and things that I want to do. I may not film or record them all, but you get to benefit or suffer, whichever your choice is, with me doing a video of this basically for my own benefit. So, and let's start getting into the weights and measures of things. Tear out the scale. We'll do it in grams. All right. All of the pots will remain uncovered, which I know is a shitty way to boil water, but hey, that's a dick we're going to fuck with today. Forgot you can actually pivot this. Alright, so change one. I wanted to max this out to see how much it could hold. So what I did was I put 2 ounces, 60 milliliters, or 4 tablespoons in every single one. That is way overfilling this in my opinion. But it should help it bloom a little bit faster, so we'll see. All these pots have 2 cups of water in them. We're not going to do a bloom time on the hexi. There's no sense because there's, by definition, no bloom time. Get my crackhead lighter. I'll make sure that these are all in bloom before I put the water on them. I'll put the water on them all at the same time. And we'll see which one boils up the fastest. Now, again, the capacities on these are different, but I would not recommend going probably over 1.5 ounces on this one and no more than 2 ounces on this one. So 45 milliliters, 60 milliliters respectively. There's actually a gauge inside here, it says 2 ounce, 60 milliliters, and 1 ounce, 30 milliliters inside of this. So it helps, basically index where you're filling it to. And it doesn't really account for the wick effect of going up into the flame spreader area. This one, Trangia, you can just fill that sucker up pretty much, to the brim. So, let's dim the lights here. Get it down to 50%. Let's take it down to 20. All right. The Trangia is already heated up and in bloom. That's the difference between brass and titanium. The brass will channel the heat a lot faster. The Evernew is starting to bloom out. And the Triad, it's almost overboiling, because I filled it up with that 2 fluid ounces of fuel, which again was an overfill. So you can see that it's overboiling, which isn't, a terrible thing if you're going to burn it off, as long as you're not, doing it on a table in a basement or something. So even though the Triad is overboiling, it is still fully in bloom. So we'll light the hexi and we'll start getting everything on it. As you can see, the Evernew is really running away. Alright, that is started. The Evernew is definitely running away. The Trangia seems to be burning the most efficiently at this point. but that will be subject to change. You'll see soon when I put this card on it, because now it's evenly spread. Trangia is not exactly evenly spread. So these all went on reasonably at the same time. You can also see that the triad, because of its standoff, isn't as evenly spread as the Evernew across the bottom. And for all intents and purposes, at this time now, the hexamine is boiling. That was quick. The triad, for all intents and purposes, is now boiling, right at about the 5-minute mark on the stopwatch. And the Trangia, for all intents and purposes, is boiling. Not the rolling boil that we're seeing on the hexamine, but it is boiling. Evernew, not quite there yet. Nice boils on the Trangia, triad, and hexamine. The Evernew is, for all intents and purposes, finally boiling. So we'll let these go to burnout. The hexamine is completely burned out. It's been a while since it's boiled. That would have been enough to cook up, say, ramen noodles. Not enough to cook up rice. Enough to boil water for oatmeal, coffee, ramen. Add to freeze-dried or not necessarily dehydrated, because you need to simmer that for a while. But enough to add to a freeze-dried item. All of these are boiling very rapidly. So now it's just a matter of which one burns out first. Oh, you probably just saw the Trangia burn out. It's just about to burn out. And the Trangia is burned out right around the 25-minute mark on the stopwatch, plus whatever time was on the initial video. 25 minutes. Adequate enough to boil up rice and vegetables. Usually that's going to take 10 minutes for your dehydrated vegetables, and rice approximately 15 minutes to get it nice and tender. Plenty of time. Plenty of time on the Trangia to get that dish going. Very adequate. Every single one of these has a high point. Every single one of these has a drawback. When you talk about affordability, I think when I bought the Trangia, all done, set, and complete, it came in at around $20. The Evernew came in at $28, being titanium. And the Triad was the most expensive at $35. I forget what I paid to add this on, but it was significant, but I had to have it. It looks like the triad's getting ready to burn out from its initial 2 fluid ounces of fuel, and you can almost hear it. It is completely burned out at this point at the 26.5-minute mark, plus whatever the time was on the initial video. The Evernew, as far as efficiency and sustainment goes, is still kicking it up. And it is completely burned out at the 34-minute and 47-second mark, plus whatever was on the initial video. So as far as efficiency goes and sustainment, we're in stewing and chili territory for this one on 2 fluid ounces of alcohol. So another thing to note is not just the cool down time on these titanium versus the brass, but the bottoms of the pans with the alcohol burners. Very little, if any, soot. With the hexamine, on the other hand, quite different and noticeable. So when you start to nest your pots, if you're using hexamine, you're going to want to either clean this or you're going to want it to be your most outer pot, because it leaves a very noticeable and definite amount of soot. That's pretty much it.